Now let's talk about Arthur's Almost Boring Day, which is episode 20A. And here's our other special guest, Grandma Thora. Grandma Thora, this I gotta stay for. Hello, Arthur. Hello, DW. Hello, Buster. Hi, Grandma. How are you? Oh, just wonderful. I was busy cleaning up the attic when I learned that you were doing a podcast. I just couldn't say no when you asked me to be on it. That's great! Now let's get started. So this episode starts with a rainy day. DW and I were bored. Even my friends were bored. After the title card was read, it was a sunny Friday. Me and my friends were in Mr. Rappern's classroom. For our homework assignment, we had to write a short report about what we did over the weekend. Then the scene transitions to Binky telling me and my friends what he should put in his report. Buster suggested he could go to the park with us. Was I supposed to? I don't think so. Anyway, the scene then transitions to Kate and Pal playing peekaboo while DW and I were watching TV. I told DW that I had to do something on Saturday, but I would play with her Sunday. She got mad about that. The next day was Saturday. A rainy Saturday. So you could play with me after all. I guess. Anyway, I called Francine for some ideas. She couldn't think of anything until she saw her drums. Then after I hung up, I chose to play Weasel Rally with DW. Kate and Pal were both asleep and Mom and Dad were writing checks. All was quiet until DW and I argued. DW said I was playing the game wrong even though I wasn't. Mom asked if there was another game I could play. That would be Confuse the Goose. Except I didn't want to play that game. So Mom and Dad suggested that I could read a book to DW. Then I phoned Buster to tell him everything was too boring to put into a report. While I was talking on the phone, DW was getting impatient. After I watched the Weather Channel, I hung up and started to read to DW. She was bored. So I angrily chased her around the kitchen. Then Mom and Dad suggested that we could draw. So the scene transitions to us doing just that. I drew a dog who was bored. You know what I drew? A stick. A stick? A stick from the park where Arthur promised to take me. Here we go again. DW, I don't have time to argue about this. Anyway, as DW and I argued, Mom thought she and Dad were never going to get anything done. So Dad held some raincoats for DW and me. The scene then transitions to DW and me outside in the rain. Dad told us to have fun at Grandma's. So we walked to Grandma Thora's house. I was doomed because writing a report about going to Grandma's was going to be the most boring report ever. Did you really think that, Arthur? Well, at first I did, Grandma. Anyway, we went upstairs to Grandma Thora's attic. DW and I were amazed by all the stuff she had. We even watched an old film of Dad when he was younger. The scene then transitions to Monday. Everyone had a chance to read their reports in front of the whole class. Most of them watched wrestling all day. I was one of them. Yeah, your report was the shortest one yet. Anyway, then it was my turn. I told everyone I went to Grandma's on Saturday. The class was not thrilled at first, but once they saw the old film and Grandma and I told them some fun facts about the past, they were amazed. They even saw Mr. Rappern when he was young. And that's how the episode ends. Well done, Arthur. Thanks, Grandma. You really are a great storyteller. Thanks again. Well, that's Arthur's family vacation. Now let's talk about each episode as a whole. What did you think of Arthur's family vacation, Buster? Well, Arthur, I thought this episode was interesting. Your vacation was actually fun to watch because you all were having fun as a family. When it started raining, I thought you guys were going to be bored out of your minds. But when you had that idea to go to a cow festival, I thought this was going to be better than I expected. You were so lucky, too. I couldn't do anything at camp. Wow, you actually wished you were with us? Of course. Friends are a part of the family, too, after all. True. What about Grandpa Dave's old country farm? What did you think of that? Well, I thought this episode was a fun one. You and DW got to hang out with your grandpa. Yeah, it sure was fun, especially when we built a whole hen house. What about Arthur's Almost Boring Day? What did you think of that? Well, I thought this episode was boring. Really? Well, at first. The ending was pretty cool, though. I mean, comic books cost 25 cents. That's insane! It sure is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for today. I would like to thank my whole family, including my grandparents, for coming onto our show. I would also like to thank Buster for helping me out with this podcast. Finally, I would like to thank you for listening. See you next time. Bye!